Oh yes, I'm Nick Shell. I'm the manly vegan. The whole world knows who I am. You found this video because on Google, you typed in, and a Google autofill, if you do "why are vegans," the Google autofill will say "so skinny." Now, I did one last week, "why are vegans so fat," which is one of the autofills. Now I'm doing the sequel, the follow-up, "why are vegans so skinny?" So, here's why. And of course, I live it. I've lived it for years, and I still live it now. I am and have been a vegan for many years, vegetarian before that, kosher before that. The reason vegans are, quote, skinny, and not all are, because obviously some are overweight, it's possible to be, but the reason they're skinny is not necessarily because of the lack of protein, and that's the myth. That's what makes this video interesting, because you probably thought I was going to say, well, it's because vegans don't get as much protein as people who eat meat. That's not at all where I'm going with this. In fact, we get plenty of protein. Those of us who do it right and know what we're doing, we get our protein very easily. Vegetables, fruits, beans, grains, nuts, and seeds. Those 6 sources right there. Rewind that if you needed that again. So the protein is not a problem. In the B12, if those of us who know what we're doing, mushrooms, I drink kombucha. There's plenty of sources to get vitamin B12. So as far as getting that is good. But what we don't get is cholesterol. That's why vegans are so skinny. That's the reason. If you've got a vegan who eats all the right things like they're supposed to, like I do, and they don't have much processed sugar, which I don't eat a lot of foods with oils in them, which I don't, like fried foods, and we exercise, which clearly I do. I'm typically exercising in my videos. Then what's going to happen is you're gonna lose weight. I mean, I did. You know, I lost somewhere around, I don't know, 20 pounds or whatever. Not trying to, but by default. Again, it wasn't because I was getting less protein. Actually, I was already a vegetarian before that. I lost a lot of weight when I became a vegan from a vegetarian. So as far as why vegans are skinny, is because of the lack of cholesterol. Okay? Now, I've said this in nearly all my other vegan videos, my other manly vegan videos, but if you're a vegan, scientifically, you cannot consume 1% of your cholesterol for the day or higher. It's scientifically impossible. Look and prove. I mean, you can easily prove this. All you have to do is look at any vegan food that's high in fat. For example, an avocado, peanut butter, coconut, cashew, high in fat. Then look at cholesterol and it says 0%. With no other food outside of vegan food will it work. You can't do that with an egg. One medium-sized chicken egg, that's over 60% of your cholesterol right there. For an egg. And meat typically is going to put you at least in the 20%. And most people don't eat just the proper serving of meat anyway, and they eat meat more than once a day, typically, often. So, imagine that. Imagine a person who the only cholesterol they consumed all day was one egg and had 63% of their cholesterol. Compare that to a vegan who every single day consumes less than 1% cholesterol. Now, there absolutely is cholesterol in vegan food. If you want to, let's talk about peanut butter. Is there cholesterol in there? Absolutely. There's no dairy products or anything in there. But in that, there is a small amount of cholesterol because there is cholesterol even in plant-based fat. However, when it comes from a plant, the cholesterol is so minimal, it's such a fraction, that you can't get enough to even equal 1%. Can you fathom that? It's impossible. And I guess if you even could, you'd probably become sick and throw it all up. I don't think you can get enough cholesterol from a plant-based source to even ever count for 1%. I've never seen that. And I've been a vegan for over 3.5 years. I've yet to see vegan food have 1% or higher of your daily cholesterol intake. So you can imagine that's quite an extreme compared to what everybody else is eating. Okay? It's not about the protein. Do vegans consume less protein than people who eat meat? Absolutely, sure. But also, typically people who eat meat typically consume too much protein, which is part of the problem to begin with. We weren't equipped to be eating as much protein, as much meat as we are in modern day America. As Americans, we eat more meat than most other countries do. So the point is not about protein. Forget about protein. That people who don't know anything about being a vegan, that's what they get fixated on, is protein. Protein's not the thing. Cholesterol is the thing. Cholesterol is what makes the vegan lifestyle so spectacular and so special and makes us healthy. Again, assuming that we are obviously getting the protein that we need, which is not a problem, and that we're getting our B12, which as long as we know what we're doing, it's fine. And in fact, if you don't know what you're doing, you won't remain a vegan because you'll be too hungry. All right. So the reason vegans are skinny is because they consume less than 1% of their cholesterol per day. Sure, they consume less protein overall, arguably, and probably less processed sugar and oils than someone who eats meat. Probably. But all that's peripheral. It all comes down to consuming less than 1% of cholesterol every single day. My name's Nick Shell. I'm the Manly Vegan. I have answers for everything when it comes to being a vegan. I am happy to answer your questions. You can see I'm confident in myself. You can see I'm not trying to convert anyone. I want you to keep eating cheeseburgers if you're not a vegan. I want you to keep living that lifestyle because that makes you happy. I do not need you to convert. I do not need you to become like me because I'm confident in myself. And a confident person doesn't need other people to become like him. However, if you're just interested in learning more about this or have curious questions, want to make this work, let me know in the comments. I'll either comment back or make a video for you. I'm Nick Shell. I'm the Manly Vegan. What would you do without me?